Hello and welcome back to Rather Be Board Gaming. I am Nathan and I will be playing through Mind Management or Mind MGMT, the solo with the app, and we will talk about these rogue agents and mind decks because they add some like mini expansions and variability as you play through if you want to have more options. So we're playing with the base game. If you watch the unboxing, I told you I fixed this. I could not get this to mark on there. It would make like a little mark and then quit working. And it does much better on this. I did it in a lamination. I just trimmed off some of the edges on all four sides because it was sticking up a little too far one way. Now you can use dry erase or wet erase or whatever you want, whatever you have around the house, and you won't have to worry about messing up your components. So we've got that. We've got everything ready to go. Now these cards, the hidden movement player would normally sit here, and you have these cards to remind you of how you can move and how you can move your henchmen, your immortals, and then the other players would sit here, and you have these cards to remind them of their abilities and how they work. This one will work even if you're on the space with an evil henchman. These will not. This one you must be, because you're shaking them down for information, and then they run off. And then of course capture. You must be. You're trying to capture the hidden person. And that one again. So these three, it seems a little strange because these three you cannot be with the henchman. This one you must. But see, this is to win the game, so they kind of separated it. Then you have an ally. Right now, the only ally you have is the dolphin, and we will discuss that if and when it comes up. Then you have these cards. These were duplicates, and I'm sure there's more of these in some of those boxes. The hidden movement player can be one of these two people and has special movements that they used with their special abilities. Okay? These cards are for the agent team that are trying to hunt them down so that they know, hey, these are the possibilities. They could have moved like this or this. So, in a normal game, you would just mix them up. I guess you could take one, put the other one in the box, and so that way the agents don't know for sure who this is, what their special ability is. But we'll be playing with the app, so we won't have to worry about that. Then you have your agents, and we'll get into that because I'm going to do a quick setup, and then we'll get into more of the details. And I know no one will believe me, but first time I played using the app, I won on the first turn. I know no one's going to believe me. Let me get the app going. We'll turn that down just in case it wants to get copyrighted. But there you go. Here is the app. We're going to play a full game. And if you notice it says Magician, we'll get to that later. I'm not going to click on that, which shift package it has. There you go. Full game. Place the board in the middle of the table. It's going to walk you through the setup. Time track is right down here. And yes, let's just do random. And what that is, these barriers. There is chaos happening in the streets. There's something going on. Could be riots. Could be, a giant sale at a store. Who knows? But these streets will be impassable. Alright. So we just do this. Now in the normal game you would take turns placing one just around the board if you wanted to. Okay, that's done. Choose place immortals on these spaces. So the recruiter would choose where they're going to start and what they're going to do, but the app is going to do that for us. And you see you have trying to reduce the glare there, the reflection of my camera setup, but you have these spaces. So that looks like the second one. And fourth down, over 2, and right there. Okay, done. Zanzibar has always been a city crawling with potential, which has been even more clear now that you've learned that the recruiter has found 3 new agents to recruit. Oh no. Now what that means is with their initial starting movement, they found 3 recruits. So we just hit OK. And we put those right here on this. And then it's going to ask us about the agent player start. Now I'm going to set this over here. So for the starting turn, what would happen is this player would choose somewhere on the board to start. Let's say they start here. You could just put a 1. That's their starting place. Then they're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. They get, so you can think of this right here. They get 5 spaces. And somewhere along this path, they're going to have 3 of these randomly. They have, for instance, if it was umbrella, no umbrellas. Ooh, there's a book. They might have recruited somebody at the bookstore. That's where they were supposed to meet a potential recruit. So they have 3 of these. We don't know which 3. The AI is doing it. But they have picked up some agents. So now we're going to pick where we want these players to be. And they must go on the outside of the board to start. And so I'm going to kind of spread them out. So let's go there. And then let's go here. 3 down. Yeah. That's good. And then this one will be, let's do right there. And we will put her. How about right there? We don't want her behind that wall. And then we hit confirm. Now, if you notice, it's got this weird figure 8 grid. The hidden movement player only starts the game with 1 of these, so we get to put 1 of these somewhere on the board. And they've already done their first 5 movement spaces. Okay, we don't know what they are. But if during the game they can make it to this space, they can get another special movement. We'll talk about that later. Let's just put it right here. It has to be 1 space next to one of the statue gardens. We'll just go there. And maybe we'll get lucky they've already been to that space, because if, while you're playing, if you ever walk on a space, you can never go back to that space. Find the Flux Coffee and the Thought Courier cards. Let me see if I can get that on. And it has a picture right here. You want the coffee and the Tuk Tuk. So, what is that? Here's a little Tuk Tuk. That's their recruiting place, and the coffee. There we go. That is where these evil henchmen are trying to recruit people. If they have 2 people on one of these at the same time, which there's a Tuk Tuk, and they don't have on coffee either. So right now we're good. They can't recruit, but they can help recruit. And if they ever get all 12, the hidden movement player beats the team of agents. And I think we are done. It says the recruiter secretly moved. Move the time token to 6. So let me show you right here. We move that up. And all that means is, let's pretend they were at the 5. They could go any of these locations. And this one, even though it's diagonal, if you notice, this you can move in and out of it diagonally. And that's the only time that you normally could. So let's pretend they moved here. They moved one space. They moved 5 at the beginning. After that, they moved 1 space each time. But we don't know exactly where they're at. So I'm going to bring the camera down, rearrange some stuff, and we'll try to play through this. And I know that most people won't believe me, but I did win my first game on the first turn, and I'll show you that in a minute, and we'll see if we can do it again. And if you believe, just put in the comments, I want to believe. That'd be great. And if you don't, then just put no picks didn't happen. I understand. Let's get to the game. We're going to try to leave the camera like this. Hopefully this setup will work well. So it is now our turn. Oop. And the recruiter used their movement to move their person here. So if you notice, they moved to the tuk-tuk. They now have 2 people on the tuk-tuk. So move to a new location. And they found a recruit at the thought courier. Okay. So we discard it from beside the board. I won't show every single time up close, but just so you know how this works. Since there are 2 of their henchmen immortals on a tuk-tuk, they found a recruit at one of those 2. They don't know which one. So we just take a recruit and we're going to put it on the tuk-tuk symbol there. Okay. And they cannot recruit from this location anymore. Now, why is this important? Well, we know that they were trying to go for the coffee and the courier. So we know that the hidden movement player does not have one of those cards in their 3 starting cards. So we'll just put that off to the side, and it's going to tell us which one of these. Now, in the normal game, you just mix it up, you draw 3, and then you put 2 down here, and so you just do it randomly and blindly and have to move your players around. But the AI will tell us to look for the pool, the mind pool, the reflecting pool. So there we go. And we'll just put that down there to remind us. And now, just like they did before, if they get 2 on one of these symbols, they can recruit. We don't want that. Now let's see what we're going to do. Which locations are being targeted as recruiting grounds? Find, well, can I get it on camera without it? Find the answer to the question, and you can start the recruiter cold. Okay. So now we get to choose which player we want to move. Now the way that works is you have your basic movement. You can move 2 spaces. Remember, this card will remind you that you can move up to 2 spaces orthogonally, not diagonally, unless you're moving in or out of the gardens. You can ask some information and reveal, and we'll get to that. But you have 4 agents. 2 of them will move, then the infiltrator recruiter, and then the other 2 agents will move, then back and forth. And so which ones do we want? Let's see. Dusty has a cool free action, so let's start with Dusty. Can he get somewhere cool? So we know they've recruited there. We know they don't have coffee, pools, or tuk-tuks, but they could have birds or books or tiki. He already has tiki. Now, if you move, remember, if you're on a space with one of the henchmen, you cannot ask about clues. You can't look. So let's just have him stand where he's at and ask. Oops, let me go back. So we're going to ask about the confusion idol or the canine. Now, why is it saying I can't ask about the confusion idol? That's what I was... That is bizarre. That's what I was wanting to ask about, is this confusion item. But it's going to let me ask about the dog, so I might as well do the dog. That is strange. That's bizarre. That's not what I wanted. Despite your suspicion that the recruiter might have passed by the dogs, the assassination dogs, since the hunt began, none of the people you ask can confirm this. So we know that one of the hidden icons, one of the hidden cards, is not the dog. So we can just set this off to the side. But I really wanted to ask about that. That's awful. So he is the only one flashing because we had to finish his turn. So now he can move. And he can move up to 2 spaces. So where are we going to move him? Let's move him. Let's just move him down to this pool. Confirm. And we had to select him again because he can use his special ability. And I think we're going to do that. With, let's see. Why not? Show you how this works. For a free action, you can move one agent up to 1 space. It says 0 exposed recruiter cards. Remember, they have 3 they start with that are hidden, and if we discover what one of them is, we would get, that's an exposed recruiter feature, and we'd get an extra movement, but we don't. So we're just going to move him up 1, get him out onto the board a little bit. So I'll just click on him, move him up, hit confirm, boom. So now, this agent's turn is done. Out of the 4 agents, so let's just flip him over to show that he is exhausted at this time. And we get to move 1 more. So we don't want to do coffee. Let's see. Do we want to do... Let's just try the bus. So we'll go up here. And we're going to ask. And we're going to do... Why is it not letting me do the bus? Well, then I don't want to do that. That is weird. I'll have to look that up. I haven't encountered that before. Alright then, we'll start off by moving. Let's move him down 2 spaces. Right here. So now we can ask about the umbrellas or the garden. So let's ask about... Let's try the garden. Oh, so there we go. Ask succeeded. You pick up strong psychic impressions linked to this idea garden. The recruiter was near one of the at this location. The question is, when were they at the location? Because remember, they've moved up to 6 spaces now. And if you notice, now this agent will secretly move. So first we need to flip this over, and we need to put a foot there, and I'll show you, and we'll explain that in just a minute. We need to move this up to 7, and if you notice, it's on a red space. And that agent moved, that immortal moved to there. And the immortals recruited using the pool. So they have a pool here and a pool there, and they have the pool card here. So they recruited someone at the pool. And we need to replace with the bird. So find the bird. And we know that is not one of the cards. The recruiter has been able to search out from the darkness and secure 1 more recruit. So we're going to place 1 of the recruits in this box. Now what that means is either on this move or that move, they were able to recruit 1 more henchman. Alright, now it's our turn. So let's look at this information garden. And that was the garden that they said that they were at. So they could have started here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it has to be this side of the board. They could not get, wait, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, they could, because of these. They could get from anywhere. Oh my goodness, that doesn't help. But we know at some point they were at this garden. That is what the information was given to us. So did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go? We could try just up here or down there and try to get lucky to see if we can capture them. It'd be a risk. Let's see, bird and coffee. But see, the last time I played, the very first move I made, I'm asked about an icon, and it gave me a foot on his starting spot. They stuck a foot right on his starting spot that I chose. I'm like, okay, well then let me just see if they're there, and I'll try to arrest them. Why not? I'd hate to mess. And I arrested them first turn. It made absolutely no sense at all. But let's see. Let's try. I don't think it's going to be the billboard, because if it is the billboard, then they would have gone over here and gotten 2 people, and I don't think their score is high enough. So let's just have him ask about the book. Why is it book locked? That makes no sense. Weird. Okay, so let's not do that. We know it's not the bird. We know it's not the dogs. So doubt they went that way. Could have went. So let's do that then. Let's move to right here. And then we're going to ask about the torches. You ask a man if the recruiter has been seen near the hallucinogenic torches, but he's unable to help you. So no. And that is his turn. So now, do we want to risk trying to make an arrest? Let's be bold, right? So we're going to move her right here. Move her over 1. Hit confirm. And then we're going to try and capture. Let's see what happens. You need to be sure next time the recruiter just got 1 more step ahead of you, and that may be all they need to complete their mission. Capture failed. And they secretly moved. Okay. We move this up. Let's see which one of their people they're going to move. Yep. Down here onto the coffee, so they probably have 2 people on coffee now, or nope. Okay. Use your training to find the recruiter before they launch their plan. It's your turn. Alright. So now we can flip all these back over. And we do not have to go in the same order. So let's just start with him. He is right here. And we will reveal. And this card will help remind you. You go to a foot and ask to reveal. And you're basically talking with people and finding out at what time of day. The recruiter's here at 1, which is the beginning of the day. Boom. So that basically means they started right here. Not a lot of great information, but we have these tokens. they say to use the white side if you're uncertain, and then the green side if you know for sure. But it doesn't matter really as long as you're consistent. So I'll just put a 1 on it, and we know that he went to this garden at turn 1. That's where he started. So we have no idea where they are right now. Now we got to finish up his turn. Move. Let's move. Where are we going to move? So we know garden. We could head toward that garden and send somebody else to this garden. So let's move right there. So we're going to move through this up to here, and we're going to go toward that garden to try and cut them off. His turn is spent, and she can't get to the garden, so but we will move. Let's go down here, and then we'll ask. Now we can do the umbrella or the tiki mask. I wanted to do this one at the beginning, so let's try it. Oh, we were right. We were right. So, where could they have gone from here? Recruiters secretly removed. Move it up to 9. And they moved over there to the coffee. Yep, they got 2 people in coffee now. And they recruited from the coffee shop. So now the monks. Alright, so a lot of information went on there. So we can get rid of that. Get rid of the coffee shop. And we'll put the monks right there. And we know the tiki head and the gardens are 2 of their cards. So I'm going to set them up here to help me remember. Two more recruits over the past 2 turns. So we'll put 2 right there. Ouch. And where is the foot icon? Oh, okay. It is on this mask right there. So they probably, this is probably a 3 right there. They went 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. So I can check to see if it's palm tree, and if it's palm tree, then we know they did this. Okay. So let's move him to right here, because there are there's a book there. Book could be the last one, don't know. It's confirm. And then we're going to ask, why is the wishing fountain blocked? I don't understand that. Did I hit the wrong space? Hold on. Did I accidentally move here? I did. Oh well, I messed up on here, so I have to keep it. So let's try the umbrellas. And yes, oh my gosh, what if he's right there right now? That would be so upsetting. So we know all 3 of the clue cards. So umbrellas, tiki heads, and gardens is where they are trying to recruit from. Where is my last player? He's down here. There's an umbrella right there. So yep, let's do this. Let's go. Let's see, umbrella, tiki head, and garden. So they either moved this way. No, they had to have gone this way. Okay, so they're over there or down here. So yeah, let's try this. We're going to use our free action. We're going to move him one space over to the umbrella. And there we go. And it's pretty cool. This app will even remind you, look, there's a little green 1 right there. Just to help. All right. His turn is over. And this is the only agent left. So we are going to try to capture. Let's see what happens. Nope. They're not there. Let's see. There's no monks there. No bird. He has the ability to stop the henchmen from recruiting near him, but I did not move him near people, so that is really bad. Alright, let's try this. We're going to move up 2. There we go. They're going up here. Yes. Oh, the recruiter revealed C3 to make a second move with an immortal. What that means is they can place down one of these. So they went through that fountain at some point, which doesn't really help. So that they can move this person right here, and now they have 2 people on monks. So yes, they recruited someone at the monks. And then the eye. Okay. So we are doing horribly this time. Oop. And the monks, and they got a recruiter from the monks, and they only need 2 more to win. So we are doing horribly. Ouch. So they could have gone like that. Let's see. Oop, let's flip these over. Garden. Tiki umbrella. So they could be going there now. They could be heading there now. So let's let's try out her out because of her special ability. We're going to go move. We're just going to move over 2 spaces. And then we're going to use her special ability, which is Psychic Crosshairs. It says, ask the recruiter if you are currently within 2 spaces of you and ignores mayhem. So, for instance, this would not block my psychic ability. So they're going to have to tell us if they are within 2 spaces of her. The recruiter is not within 2 spaces. And so now her turn is over. So they are not here. They're not going this way. So they went over this way. There's a garden. And there's a tiki. I don't see an umbrella that way. Unless they went like that. They could be sitting right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They could be sitting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're probably sitting right there. Well, let's just try it. We're going to move up 2 spaces. And then we're going to use his free ability. It is a free special ability, so we'll move 1 space, move him 1 space. And then we'll use his 1 action to try and capture. Nope. Oh no. And they recruited on the bird, of course. So we put 1 there, and they recruited on the bird, and that should be game. Let's see if it says game over. The recruiter has found enough new recruits to keep the mine management operation operating for another few months. Don't worry, they'll be back, and next time you better be ready. So we kind of lost. So it says new digital shift package unlocked, psychic tether. What that means is it says unlocked by losing. So since the agents lost, they can open up this to get more agents, more abilities to help them do better at the game, or maybe get more powerful allies. I should have used the ally. The way the ally works is when you ask, you discard this, and then they have to put step tokens. Like if I say garden, they would have to put a step token on every garden that they had been to on the map. So that's pretty cool. So this will get you some extra gameplay for the agents, and this one will help give you some. So I won the first game, I lost this game. So what I might do is open one of these boxes and show you in just a minute. But let's take a look. So they started here, like we said, like we discovered. They went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they never went to that corner, they went to this garden. Ow. Upsetting. And when she was here, if she would have been here, they would have told me he was right here. Possibly. I don't know. But may have to play this again because I really want to get a win. Oh, that is upsetting. Well, I guess I've learned my lesson. Even when you are learning the game, record everything so it's on camera, right? You can be harder editing, but you can always have video evidence proof, right? So basically what the hidden movement player can do, they can discard the token and they would put it over here on the time track saying when they used it. And if they're this person, they get to move up to 2 spaces away diagonally. And here they get to move 2 spaces orthogonally. And they just jump. They jump over this space. They do not interact with that white space at all. They move from their location to that location. We didn't see that. But now I'm going to open these up. These will be some spoilers. So if you're not interested, you might not want to watch this part. Let's start with this one. Ooh, and it is sealed. I think I'm going to get my little razor blade. Hold on. I don't want to mess anything up. There we go. This is pretty cool. And unlike your legacy games, you're not going to add stickers and mess stuff up. And so look, now we have a foot that has a DB on it. That's different. Oh, and we have a little comic, and it is introducing a new character. Distraction. So let's see what new game components we have. This shows you it came in box 1. That's pretty cool. See if I can get it to focus better. Replace the standard capture action with this capture. It may be a feature you have exposed through a shakedown. If the recruiter is in your location and you correctly identify one of their feature cards, they must answer hit. And if you win immediately, if either the location or feature is incorrect, they must answer miss. And the game continues. May not be used if one of the immortal ally or henchman is in the space. So you declare that you are attempting to capture the recruiter and guess any one feature. And it may be a feature you've exposed through shakedown. So yeah, I never did that. The shakedown card, you go to an immortal and you shake them down and you guess a feature. If the recruiter has a matching feature card, they must reveal and discard it face up. And they cannot recruit with that feature anymore. So I really should have done that as soon as I knew I had a good idea that it was the tiki head or whatever. I should have done that. So I always forget about that card because, like I said, my first game was so quick. So there's a new way to capture. That's kind of neat. Destruction box step token. And all other step tokens behind the screen. Flip this card over and place it under the other. It says when the agent takes an ask action, place a step token from behind the screen. You may choose to place a distraction box step token instead of a normal step token. Face down and hidden. It may be placed in any location that has the requested feature, even if you have not visited it. The agents may use the reveal action to discard the distraction box step token. If they do, do not place a confirmed mental note. So basically, yeah, you just send them to the wrong side of the board. And like I said, the first time I won so quick, that's why you open this, is to help the seeker. Oh, and we have the new character, the magician, and they can disappear and move to a location in an orthogonal or diagonal straight line that shows any of the features you are currently located on. You may pass through locations you visited and mayhem tokens. So those barricades or spaces you've already been to, you can pass right through them. So there's a new character to play with. And you're still being set up, and it's a new setup card. Pretty cool. So these can go right into the game, no problem. Just add those right in. Then let's look at this. Since the agent's lost, they might need some help. So let's see what they're getting. Oh, wow, look at this. Lots and lots and lots of tokens. Oh, and these cards are kind of bent in there. They barely fit in. So we have some lightning bolt tokens and some psychic tripwires. Oh, I bet you set down traps, and if they pass through there. Got another comic to explain the new mechanic. Pretty cool. When you receive this card, draw the psychic tripwire on your secret map. Oh no, this is for the bad guy. Okay. When the time token reaches an alert icon, reveal how many times you moved across the psychic tripwire since the last alert. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the agents put it down, and then you have to mark it on your map, and then if you pass through there, you have to tell them. That's pretty cool. Better living through freedom. See, they're trying to mark out all the propaganda. Place the psychic tripwire tokens and the psychic tripwire alert tokens in a supply. And place the trigger psychic tripwire card underneath this card. Go over this card and slide it under move. Oh, what in the world? During a move, use this card to set the psychic tripwire. Then give the trigger psychic tripwire card to the recruiter. Set the tripwire, place up to 7 tripwire tokens on the board in between locations that must be placed in continuous path with both ends meeting the edge of the board. Okay. Doesn't have to be a straight line. No more than 1 token between 2 locations. Yeah, makes sense. That's pretty cool. So you basically are going to block off like a 4th or a 5th of the board, and anytime they pass over that, that's pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. I will be back to play this again soon. I'm really enjoying it, and we might throw in some of these new features. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and may God bless you.